Hello everyone and welcome to Brilliant Speaker. Today I'm interviewing an amazing lady, Rachel Smets. I'm just adding her into work. Rachel is 2 times TEDx speaker. She helps people successfully live abroad. She's a professional speaker. She's a coach. Rachel, welcome to Brilliant Speaker. Happy to have you. How are you today?
I'm good. Besides all the technology, let's just dive right in because we don't want to waste people's time. So dive in.
Well, you're not wasting people's time. You're going to give us lots of value today. People are here because they want to hear about you. So don't even worry about wasting people's time. Let's just jump straight into the questions, Rachel. Can you share your story and into being a professional speaker, helping people live successfully abroad?
Yeah, of course. Where do I start? I started my journey of living abroad about 15 years ago, and that's when my whole journey actually started because I became passionate about living in different countries, and that's what I've been doing for the past 15 years. And while doing that, while being in different countries and meeting different people, I gained a lot experience. I had different jobs. I had corporate jobs, and now I'm a coach and a speaker and a mentor and a trainer. And all of that came because of my journey abroad and because of, all the relations and all the experience that I gained and all the questions that I received. So that's how now I help people, and I love inspiring people. So that's how I started speaking. And yeah, and then came the TEDx talk. And it's all about inspiring people and sharing the message that if you want to achieve your dream, you can achieve your dream.
Well, that's a great message. If you want to achieve your dream, you can achieve your dream. What an exciting journey of travel, and that's what's brought you into what you're doing now. I actually look at all the places you are and what you're doing, and I'm thinking, I would really like to travel more. So I really admire that you've got the courage to just get up and just go anywhere and live your dreams, Rachel. I do really admire that about you.
Thank you. And I have to say though, I mean, some people say like, oh, it's so nice and you're traveling all the time and you come to different places, but let's be really honest here. It is not easy like that. I mean, I struggle. I have to search. I have to put a lot of effort and time into things. I have to earn money as well. I have to find ways to earn money, to have an income, to do all the things that I want to do. So yes, it's great. I would never do it any other way, but it does take a lot of effort with everything in life, I believe. So it's not just falling from the sky for me at all.
Welcome to the life of being an entrepreneur. It's not always
Yeah.
easy. Great words of wisdom there. I'm going to jump straight into our next question. You help people to live successfully abroad. Can you share a few tips of what that takes, how that can happen?
It's hard to share just a few tips. I'll do my best because when it comes to living abroad, it really depends. First of all, the tips that I want to give depends on your situation. Is it somebody that has no clue at all about living abroad and has no idea where to start? Then I would say, grab this book, my book, Living Abroad Successfully. Whereas here, I give you the whole journey. Like, what are all the things that you need to think about? Because if there would be one tip, one major tip with anything, it's prepare yourself. Whatever you do in life, prepare yourself. Take time to prepare, to research, to plan, to prioritize. And all of the things you need to think about are in my book. So if you have no clue about living abroad, then you know, how do you make a decision? Who are you as a person? What about finances? What about jobs? And then my book is also for those people who are already abroad, because it also has chapters about the culture shock, how to avoid homesickness, how to settle in abroad. So how to learn a language. How about the reverse cultural shock? Because some people, after years of traveling like me, one day I might return to my home country. That's called the reverse cultural shock. So the tips will really depend on, and my book is full of tips and checklists and planning. But if I would have to say one tip, then it is, yes, prepare yourself. And prepare yourself to move abroad. And when you are abroad, it's also a matter of settling in. So then I would say there's a lot of tips about how do you adjust to another country. Because there also you need to adjust, you need to adapt. Everything is new, everything is different, the people are different. That's why I'm so passionate about cultural differences. Because if you learn a little bit about the culture, it will make your life so much easier. So be open-minded to learn about other cultures and other countries. Be open-minded and be flexible, because you are the newbie in town. You know, you can say, you know, sometimes people say, oh, you know, everything is different here and everything is strange, and all these foreigners. That's not true. You arrive at everything has always been like that, but you are the newbie. So you are the one having to adjust. You are the one having to adapt. You are the one to have to put in effort to meet people, to talk to people, to find friendships. So again, like anything, it takes effort. But if you prepare yourself, you do your studies, you do your research, life is so much easier. And that's exactly where I help people with. You know, wherever you are on your journey, you know, it's all about planning the right research and prioritize and taking the right steps in the right order. You know, I will never forget, some people always like, oh, and what about the health insurance, and what about the car, and what about your housing, and what about this and that? And then it gets all overwhelming. But if you know, first a plane ticket, then the house, then this, then that, then, you know, then it just flows easily.
I definitely think people need someone like you, because some of the points you've picked up on never even crossed my mind. And being prepared is obviously really important, but like culture differences, and it really is true. You do have to be prepared. So I do think people need someone like you, especially when they're spending long periods of time with other cultures in other countries. So I do think there's a real need for people like you, and it's a great thing what you're doing. So thank you for sharing. I know you've only touched the surface there in the minimum amount of time we've got, Rachel, but we're going to go on to lots of other great things too. I'm just going to look through some comments to see what people are saying. Lynn Hope Thomas is saying hi. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. I
Hi,
know, Lynn.
Carol.
If people have questions, feel free to type it in the comments. I mean,
Sahid saying hello, Mark. Hi, Sahid. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Emilio. Please, can everybody share some hearts for Rachel? She's going to be sharing lots more tips. Please share the broadcast. If you've got any questions, please type them in. That brings me to my next question, Rachel. The speaking industry can be a hard industry when you first get started to make progress, building it into a business. You've spoken for TEDx twice, you've got lots of speaking experience. Can you share some speaking success tips?
I'd love to, and it always comes back to putting in the effort, okay? Because, like you know very well, speaking engagements don't just happen. And I think there's also a big difference where you are in the world. For example, in the States, there are a lot of speakers, and they earn big money. I think in Europe, it's not as developed as in the States, for example. So it depends on your location. When it comes to speaking, it's also very much related to networking. You know, who do you know? Who can invite you to speak in maybe in their company or in events or in or doing workshops. So it's a matter of spreading the word that you have a message to share. I think it all starts with that message, because that's the whole idea of TEDx as well. You have one message. Spreading is the actual definition of TEDx. And with any speeches that I give, I always have one particular message that I want to inspire people with and that I want to share. So is it earning money? No, but I love it because I want to share and inspire people. And that's why I love speaking. So tips to be a speaker, there are lots. You know, it's about your presence, your behavior, your performance, but what is that message that you have that you want to spread the world? So that's the first thing. What's your journey? Without a journey, without an experience, you know, you don't really have a message. And it doesn't have to be drama, you know, it doesn't have to be like, you know, some bad things happen in life, not at all. But you need a message, and you need experience to share that message, and you need a personal journey to share that message. So that's definitely one thing that's very important. And to get speaking events, if that is, you know, part of your questions, I would say, because people ask me about that as well, it's a matter of networking, talking to people, putting yourself out there like you are doing now, Mark. I mean, it's amazing. People are watching you live and you have a big following and you grow it and you grow it, but you put all this effort into interviewing people. It takes a lot of time, a lot of your effort, but you reach an audience, you reach people, you inspire people, you educate people about speaking. And that's how you grow and you can become known and people will start asking you. So does it come easily, Mark? No way. And does it take time? Yes. But that's the only way. That's the only way.
You have just touched up on so many points there. Networking and having a strong message and asking people if you can share that message. That is how I get a lot of my speaking engagements, building good relationships, having my message and asking if I can share it. It really is that simple. But like you say, it's not easy. We can't be on this live saying it's easy. There's so much work. You've really got to want it. You've got to be determined. You've got to make effort, and you've got to just go out your way to every day be consistent and work hard. It doesn't just come to you. And like you say, with this interview show, I have to get questions, I have to promote it on social media, finding the guests, being prepared for the interview. But I love doing it. I absolutely love doing it. I think when you do things that you love and you're passionate about, the work, it doesn't matter. I really appreciate your tips there, especially the ones about networking, Rachel, because I think that is a really important point. Lynn Hope Thomas is saying, hi, Rachel. Amanda Adrell is saying culture matters when training people. Lynn Hope Thomas has got a question for you. What's the hardest thing you have ever encountered in going abroad?
Ooh, the hardest thing, that's a good question. There's so many challenges that it's hard to just pinpoint. I guess being single is having to make every single decision alone. I think that would summarize a lot of these little moments, you know, that you cross the whole time. It's like making a decision making a decision to, you know, about moving companies, about electricity companies, about phone companies, about water, all of these things, which bank, you know, it's all of these decisions that you have to make alone as a single person. And I think that is definitely the hardest thing. And it's a good thing. I mean, it's good to struggle through it, and I love these challenges every single time, because it makes me, you know, you grow as a person and you learn and you develop yourself. And making all these decisions, of course, it helps me to grow as a person and to learn. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it is probably one of the hardest things.
Thank you for your honesty there, Rachel. Thank you, Lynn, for a great question. And I can totally relate to that. And I really admire what you're doing, Rachel. everyone, please, can you share the broadcast? Please, can you show some comments of hearts in the broadcast so that we can see you're enjoying the broadcast? If you have any more questions, please type them in. That brings me to my next question, Rachel. I talk about self-leadership and transformation. Can you just tell me what that means to you?
Transformation and leadership. When I hear that, I mean, it's not my expertise like yours, but when I hear the word transformation, I immediately think about how do you develop yourself, you know, self-development, and how do you transform yourself. And I think life in itself is a journey. And when I think about my own journey, I used to be shy. I used to, more or less an introvert, not talking to many people. And I just grew so much and I learned so much. And I definitely transformed myself. And I think when you live abroad and you have these experiences, it is a true transformation. It's a true transformation, in self-development. And I think that's a transformation and the leadership that you like to talk about as well, and how we inspire people as well.
That was beautifully put. And I know you say it's not your area of expertise, but to me, when I look at you, I see someone who is really following self-leadership and really working on themselves, always moving forwards. So even though it's not your area of expertise, you are a true leader, Rachel. That brings me to my next question. Can you tell us a little bit more about your book, Living Successfully Abroad, and how people can get hold of it?
Yeah, sure. Well, here it is. I always have it with me everywhere I go. Living Abroad Successfully. It's available on Amazon. And like I said, it's for you can read the reviews on Amazon as well, but it's for wherever your situation is. So for people who have never been abroad, it will tell you everything you need to know. It's a complete practical guide because it has a lot of checklists, plan, cheat sheets, tips from other expats all over the world, tips to learn a new language, tips to avoid homesickness. So it's also a very good book for people who have done the move and who maybe feel homesick, which is a shame. It will teach you also about the cultural shock and the stages that you go through when you live in another country. It gives you ideas about jobs and employment and finances and everything, and language and culture. So it has everything you need to know. It's a very, very practical guide. Like I said, with in the second part, a lot of cheat sheets, plans, things that you can really start your research and know what to research and what to plan. So it's a very practical book that, you can just, I love these books that you can just pick up again and look again, and then wherever your situation is, pick it up again, try another chapter or another, tips or tricks. So yeah, it's available on Amazon, ebook and paperback.
Would you kindly put in the comments of this broadcast later the link so people can purchase the book? Please, everyone, please comment what your top takeaway so far from the broadcast. So everyone watching, gaining great content, please share what your top takeaway so far of the broadcast. Feel free to share the broadcast. If you have got any questions for Rachel, please do ask them. That brings me to my next question, Rachel. What's new for Rachel? What are you working on right now?
I am working on a lot of things because I love multitasking. I love multiple things, so I'm always doing different things at once, actually. Besides client work, I am creating a new course. I already have a course about my book, Living Abroad Successfully. I have a video course. I'll put the link in the comments as well. But I'm working on a brand new course, which is going to be a very big video course with additional resources about how to settle in a new country. So you've made the decision, you're actually in a new country, and so how do you settle in and how do you feel home? That's what I want. I don't want people to spend a year, 2 years, 3 years feeling bad, depressed, homesick. No, I want people to build a network, to make friends, to go out there, to have a routine, to live their life and be the persons they want to be. And there's mindset things and tips. And there's planning you can do, and scheduling and activities and lots of things. So I'm making a full course about that. So that's one thing. On the other hand, I'm always teaching cultural differences, because that's really a passion of mine. I also teach some languages, which is another passion of mine. What else am I doing? I'm teaching abroad. I love traveling and teaching. So I'm planning a next trip to Italy to be teaching over there for a whole week. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And yeah, planning other moves and other trips and learning about other cultures, which I just love doing. So it's a lot of things.
Exciting times. Everyone watch out for Rachel's new course, especially if you're looking to move abroad or spend periods of time away. And I'm looking forward to watching all your travels, everything what you're up to, Rachel. It's really exciting times for you. Lynn Hope Thomas has said her top takeaway is get out there, travel and network. A great takeaway.
Yep.
Amanda Adrell is saying got to drop off to drive. I'm not sure whether she's telling me she's got to go off the broadcast to drive. But
yeah,
anyway,
so.
Thank you for your comment, Amanda. So that brings me to my next question, Rachel. How can people connect with you? How can people follow you? How can people reach out to you?
Very easily. Everything is my name, Rachel Smets. So you find me on LinkedIn, you find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Living Abroad Successfully. I am on Instagram, and my website is actually maybe the best, rachelsmets.com. So just my full name, rachelsmets.com. And or just ask me questions, and I'll definitely answer you. I'm happy to help, happy to answer questions. And I'm very easy to find. And I have lots of free resources if I can help anybody. So just ask a question and I'm here to help.
Well, everyone, if you're thinking about traveling abroad, if you're thinking about spending time away, there's going to be culture differences, language barriers, you need help with communication, I urge you to reach out to Rachel and ask for help. All you can ever do in life is reach out and ask for help, and people will be willing to help you. Rachel, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for being my guest on Brilliant Speaker. Time is precious. I really appreciate all the tips and wisdom that you've shared. Please share any links below to your book, how people can connect with you. Thank you for being on Brilliant Speaker.
Thank you for having me, and I'm thank you for your patience and all the technology and the issues that we had. I hope we didn't lose too many people the first minutes, but thank you so much for everyone here. And again, I'll be in the comments. So thanks again, Mark.
That's the joys of Facebook Live. There's always issues. It's about just facing problems and going with it and just getting on with things. Michelle Forbes is saying thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And until next time on Brilliant Speaker, see you next time. Bye. Take care.